there's a lot of chatter on the internet about hand and arm signals, from the security team. There's been concerns about it from my own personnel that work here. I've worked security details, done a lot of sniper work.
Did you ever use hand and arm signals?
I used hand and arm signals every single time on every detail, everywhere I went. And, one of the rumors was, he's got the ball cap. He did the ball cap wiggle. That's the Marine Corps sniper. I've done a lot of sniper operations. Nobody wears ball caps.
So that was my lead question. You ever use hand signals? And it's like, yes.
Yes.
Were your hands...
And you would already establish, I'm going to cover for you here.
Yeah.
Because this is a rumor that I just fucking hate.
I know.
Because that is what it takes. You can't be on the radio all the time because you're tying the net up. We had already established that you had other security professionals within the crowd that you're trying to communicate with, and that's how you do it. That is how you do it.
Well, I'll speak to this one. You're using hand signals, or if you were to use hand signals, and those are an option, especially like under MVG or things like that. One, are those hand signals normal ones that you would see during normal gesticulation, or are those definitive hand signals? Mm-hmm. They're definitive, so that they can't be confused with a guy scratching his ass. Mm-hmm. And so that's the first one. The second one is that hand signal, when a bubble team is there, we're not using hand signals. Sniper details, absolutely. Why? Because you can see that. Are we looking around at each other looking for hand signals? Mm-hmm. We're looking at in the front in our area of responsibility. If we needed to relay a message, then we would, hey, right here on comms. Right? And or we're notorious for, if I need to get somebody's attention on the team, I'm not going to sit there and use a hand signal if he's in my line of sight. I'm just going to go like that. He's going to look up, and I'm going to go. Mm-hmm. and so if I looked up and did a hand signal on the team and did that or that, he's going to look at me like, so what do you want me to do then? Mm-hmm. Right. So for that's not good communication. It has to be definitive. It has to be necessary.
It could be an acknowledgement.
Absolutely.
I mean,
yep. Received.
Get me out of here.
Yep. You're right. Absolutely. Yeah. And what you're doing there is deliberate. Yeah. These are deliberate.
Right?
Yeah. So, no, we don't use hand signals on that one. We didn't use hand signals that day. We've never used hand signals other than the general ones. Come here. 2 people. Here. None of that was done. None of that was done. You had Frank Turek and people messing with him because he adjusted his hat. It's like, okay, substantiate. All right, so he touched his hat. There were a line of people in the front and all the other people that also did all kind of things before that. It's like everybody's subject to that. I get it. Man, I'm a huge, and I'm not a conspiracy theory guy, but I do believe that there are things out there bigger than you and I that are in operations. Mm-hmm. It's a fact. I also am a huge believer in the First Amendment. And so these people that are out there saying all this, back up, why is the First Amendment so important? Because back in the day when our founding fathers said, man, why do we need this amendment first? And because a voice is an arms for people that don't have arms. That's what it was for. It was a collective or a single voice could be powerful to a hierarchy of people that can't be conquered with an arm. So we have to have this voice, and we have to protect this voice at all costs. And they said, and they wanted us to have that. And that's why they put it first. And it should be used as a shield. Well, nowadays, with the media, and now social media, that right has been used as a sword. And the sword of public opinion. It's like, hey, well, let's just put a bunch of lies out there and claim First Amendment. And We can say whatever we want. And it's like, when's that stop? And literally whatever you want. You've seen some of the idiocy out there. Palm gun, exploding microphone, hand signals. It's like, it doesn't even have to be true, and it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. And so you're just using that First Amendment as a sword and not a shield. And we gotta step back at that and look at it. I was talking to you guys earlier, and I was like, at some point you put those people in the Wayback Machine. And the Wayback Machine is you take them to 1985. And when people said something that was untrue about you or your family, and they said something bad about you that other people heard, you split their lip.
There's a consequence.
An immediate consequence. Not a consequence that comes through a lawsuit 3.5 years later, an immediate consequence, so that a level of respect is gained. And then also, hey, if you do this again, I'll see you next time as well. At some point, some people need to be put in the Wayback Machine.
Mm-hmm. Definitely not going to disagree with you on that one. So let's talk about the immediate response. Let's get back to that. Yeah. Could you tell it was gunfire?
Yes.
How could you tell?
I've been around gunfire my whole life. That's the first one. And so, and there's a different type of gunfire, right? We were at Berkeley last night, and you heard somebody decided to pop off some bunch, and they were loud, like 6, 7 M80s at a time, and people started panicking and running. And one of my guys, look, I said that's not gunfire. It's a different sound. You have an attribution of sound, and so you're used to it, and having a range, and so you're around it, and you even get to like, well, that was a rifle, that's a pistol, that's a big boy rifle, that's subsonic. I mean, you can PID all those with your ear. You know, I'm no sniper, but you're out there hanging out with those guys, and you get that sniper's ear pretty quick because they say, "Oop, hear that? That's what that is." And so I've got my back to Charlie about, I don't know, less than 10 meters off to his right. And my area of responsibility, we had a lot of people coming up some staircases there, and it was starting to fill in. And so I was watching that, and I remember I heard the gunfire, and then I don't know if you've heard this, but I heard that bullet slap him. And so you hear two sounds, actually. And so you hear the actual shot, and then you hear the bullet hit him in the neck, like you hear it. And so in my head, I had an attribution to that. Oop, I know what that is. And so I turned, and when I turned, started running, that's when Dan grabbed him. And I mean, this is a live fire event. It's not, everybody thinks in hindsight, well, this is a one-shot assassination. No, in our heads, there's fire.
You don't know what that is.
There's fire. There's more to come, right? And so Dan grabs Charlie, and then...
Who's Dan?
Dan was the guy standing right next to Charlie when he got shot on the stage. And then I was to the right of Dan.
Okay.
And so he grabs him, and then I turn and see him start to the ground. But then I'm just thinking gunfire. And then he's leading to the ground because I'm on his right, where he was shot right here in the left of his neck. And so I jumped down on top of Charlie to cover him, because where we're at, it's concealment at best. It's a tabling with cloth on it, so it's not hard cover. Our guys are starting piling back in, and they're down, putting a human shield around him, but it's still just concealment. It's not cover. And so I initially dove down on top of him and just was on him almost face to face. And then when I was doing that, I went down, I could see the wound. And so I immediately shoved my hand into the wound to stop the bleeding, just trying to find the pressure, and it was coming out still. And I'm on top of him, like close, and it was still coming out enough that I guess it squirted through my fingers, and I could taste it on my lips. And so I was like, man, this is a bad wound, right? And so I was just pushing that, and I don't know at that time. I know when you look at the clock, I was on him within 5 seconds and had my hands in him. And then I don't know when I put the first piece of medical on him. It was sometime after that, because I carry it right here, and that's why you carry it on you. You got to have it there. So, but then I remember pulling back away, and thinking, damn, this is bad. Like, it's coming out. And I don't remember saying this, but the guys told me, and you can kind of see it on the video. I said, prep the car. And I just prepped, and you see the two guys just take off. And that car's prepped in position, but what I mean, doors are open, yeah. I mean, the whole deal. And then so we're doing pressure control there, and it's a carotid artery, so you can't put a tourniquet on it, obviously. And in my head, I'm like, pack, pressure, pray, man. These are what you can do for that wound. But then, so I'm on top, and then I told the guys, we got to exfil. We're all out here in the open. We're trying to give wound care, and we got to get off this X, right? And so, but I just said, we're exfilling. And so we got up, I think it was like 15, 16 seconds from the time the shot happened to the time we were picking him up and headed.
15 to 16 seconds?
Yeah, that's what it was, yeah. And so...
That's fast.
Yeah, and this is horrible, but...
That is fast to get an initial assessment, plug a hole, pick them up, move them.
Yeah, and so it's just like, dang. And it's some horrible realities of it, too, that, like, I told the guys this, and I haven't... When I jumped down on him, he had doll's eyes. And so I was like, man, these are wounds incompatible with life.
You knew.
Yeah.
No matter where you're watching Sean Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a review on Apple and Spotify podcasts.